a dream that one day this nation will rise up and live out the true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident that all men are created equal.
Martin Luther King Jr. was a Baptist minister and an important leader in the civil rights movement. He believed in using peaceful protest to end racism and segregation. One of the events that he helped lead was the Montgomery bus boycott, and he also gave a famous speech at the March on Washington. In 1964, he won the Nobel Peace Prize for his commitment to peaceful solutions. He is remembered today for standing up for equality and justice. A law that went by was the Voting Rights Act of 1965, which passed during the life of Martin Luther King Jr. That was also signed by President Lyndon B. Johnson to give all Black people the right to vote. Before this law was passed, very few Black people could vote because the government gave stringent and often ridiculous tests to limit the amount of Black participation in the voting processes. Before Martin Luther King Jr. was killed, he had been working hard to support civil rights and help African Americans who were treated unfairly. In 1968, he went to Memphis, Tennessee, to support a strike by sanitation workers who wanted better pay and safer working conditions. King had also been speaking out against poverty and racism across the country. Because of his work, he faced threats from people who disagreed with him, and tensions were high. These threats eventually led up to the day he was assassinated. On April 4th, 1968, Martin Luther King Jr. was shot and killed while standing on the balcony of a hotel in Memphis, Tennessee, by a sniper who was James Earl Ray. His assassination shocked the nation and caused sadness and anger across the country. Many people held marches, memorials, and protests to honor him. This event marked a turning point in the civil rights movement and made people think more about the problems of racism and inequality in the United States. Martin Luther King Jr.'s assassination also had an immediate impact on the United States. Over 100 cities experienced riots and violence. People were angry and upset, and many lost trust in the government. These events showed how deeply his assassination affected the country at that time. Martin Luther King Jr.'s assassination also had long-term effects on the United States. His death helped push the president, Lyndon B. Johnson, to pass the Civil Rights Act of 1968, also known as the Fair Housing Act of 1968. This prevented house sellers from giving a house to a person based on their race. Over time, King became a symbol of peaceful protest and equality. A national holiday was created to honor him and his work. His ideas continue to inspire future movements such as Black Lives Matter. Even today, racism and inequality still exist, showing that his fight for justice is still not finished. In summary, Martin Luther King Jr. was the most famous peaceful protest leader for the civil rights movement from 1955 to 1968 in the United States. On April 4th, 1968, Martin Luther King Jr. was shot on his balcony in Memphis, Tennessee because a white man named James Earl Ray hated him for leading protests to end segregation. Shortly after, African Americans were reacting violently due to the death of Martin Luther King Jr., and this event changed history by ultimately leading to the end of segregation. Today, anyone can do whatever they want, no matter the color of their skin. Whether they are brown, black, or white, as Martin Luther King Jr. says, we are all created equal.